It's Wednesday. I know that much. It's Wednesday, and I'm your host today of Crafting with the Crazies here on Nat 21 Adventures. This is a Goblin takeover. This is not what you normally see on Wednesdays at lunchtime. But I'm here. Nobody else posted anything. We don't know. This is sort of like guerrilla radio. It's guerrilla streaming. It's guerrilla Twitch. They might hop on and kick me off because we didn't see a link. And normally on Wednesday morning, it's like, who's doing this? None of that happened. I know Paulo's traveling. Ansa's somewhere. Mab's at work. I don't know where everybody else is. There was an open stream, so I jumped in and I stole it. If there was something planned for this segment here, this is how Goblin Radio works. So there's no script. There's nothing today. I'm getting dings over my phone. And it's the Goblin crew. So Paulo, he's like out west. He's probably still asleep at the Red Roof Inn. He won't even know we did this until it's all over. Anyway, my name is Robert Turk. I'm waiting for a thumbs up from the other people I see that are holding there. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. He probably can't hear me. I don't know. Give me a thumbs up when you wanna jump on. I don't want to throw you into this, and it's a very hesitant thumbs up. Why am I doing this today? Because if you've been living under a rock for the past 24 hours, that might be kind of cool to live under a rock for 24 hours. It's like cave camping kind of stuff. Anyway, I have a Kickstarter going right now for the Goblonia game that we play Wednesday night. And there's a way I can share my screen so you don't just think, oh, you're making something up. Let's see it right there. But I don't want you to see any of. Let's get rid of that. All right, here it goes. Boom. There it is. For real. We're doing a Kickstarter today. It started yesterday. Make that bigger. All right. Hey, and there's even a link. There's a link. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yes, your freezer died and you're cooking all your defrosted food. That's like a desperate thing to do, but that's an awesome thing to do because that's like not wasteful. And I get it. We always seem to lose the power here at my house. Where's my face? Bring back my face. We always seem to lose the power here at my house the day after we have grocery shopped, which, you go grocery shopping because you got a hurricane coming in, which doesn't happen a lot in Ohio, but it can happen, I guess. Or you've got a big snowstorm on the way. So, right, you fill up your refrigerator and your freezer because you're not gonna be able to go to the grocery store for the next couple of days. And then what happens? Crappy power company loses power, and you lose all that food that you just put in the freezer. I guess in a snowstorm, we have actually wrapped it up in plastic and put it out in the snow. That's a thing we've done. But you gotta salvage it. Supposedly insurance companies, if they don't suck, will reimburse you so much money for the thing. For like, if you lose all your food in a power outage, they'll give you like a couple $100 to go buy new food. I've never done that because I don't want my insurance premiums to raise up because of the power company and a couple $100 worth of groceries. I would just rather eat popcorn for a couple days and then stick it on there. Anyway, good luck to you, Sally, on getting that freezer stuff. I don't know how much they talk to the audience in this show, guys. I'm talking to the audience. I'm answering questions. It's crafting, and today my crafting consists of frantically refreshing this page to see how much money we've got on this. Let's make it bigger. Cubby, I'm pulling you in just a second. So, oh, wow! We're at $4,922 out of $8,000. I got to raise $8,000 to make this game, to make this book happen. I mean, the game's happening. We're playing it on Nat 21 Adventures on Wednesday night. That happens tonight. But since it's a Goblin takeover, I woke up the other goblins and said, hey, get on here so we can talk to folks about the Kickstarter and about our lives and about what we do. and all that stuff. Hey, Sir David, how you doing today? It is a Goblin takeover, but before we go into the full Goblin takeover, I would be remiss if I also did not show you that Ansa has a Kickstarter running right now. And Ansa's hit her goal. That's awesome. It was a little tiny goal. That's smart marketing right there. But you can still back this. You can still back this for 36 more days, and it's a Yuletide Monsters Advent Calendar. And all the art, I haven't actually read it, so I might be making stuff up here. All the art here is done by Ansa, and it's cool. I love her art. Wait a second. Actually, if I had gone a different direction, gone a little bit scarier with Goblonia, her art would work great for Goblonia. I'm gonna have to hire Ansa at some point. I like paying artists to make art and put them in books. So yeah, her art is amazing. You can back this project as well. There's a link down there. And I mean, she does awesome. Just look at that. Can I make that bigger? How do I make that bigger? What happens if I do this? Aha! Keyboard tricks right there. Look at that. All right. Now, don't screenshot that and then go print it on a t-shirt or something. That would not be cool of you. But that's just amazing detail. It looks like like the old wood print cuts. So that's really cool. Good job on that, Ansa. Good luck. Is that Wedgie right there with the hatchet? Or is Wedgie the one up here wearing that crown? Right there? Is that Wedgie with the long neck? I don't remember. Maybe this one's Wedgie with the beak and the little old lady scarf. Or maybe Wedgie got turned into a pope right there. A pope with a I'm not going to actually continue that line of thought because I don't know what that is on his head. Anyway, there's a Goblonia Kickstarter happening right now. The game we play Wednesday night. Here's the rest of our goblins for this Goblin takeover. Boom, make that little. And where are they? There is my man Cubby. There is not Shoshi. That's Shoshi's background. Let's give us equal space on the screen.
I think Shoshi's just invisible. She does that.
Shoshi
sometimes.
is invisible. She is a ring of keys. That is what's happening there. How you doing, Cubby?
I'm doing all right. I sat down to my computer and saw that you had asked if anyone was available for a takeover. And I asked that like time to respond.
Yeah, I asked that like 10 minutes ago, right? Yeah.
And then I found out it was a crafting thing, so I grabbed a craft.
Oh, cool. I actually... Ooh, what have you got?
I have my Kumihimo disc. It's a...
Yes, you do.
Braiding style, and I have to say it's very simple to do and it's very relaxing. So if you're in like, I don't know, a high pressure situation where there's nothing you can actively do but hit refresh on a web page, it's a really great craft for that.
All right, show that again. I'm gonna make you big. There we go. Thank you. Whoever's behind the screen moving stuff. Thank you. That was super helpful. So let's type that in the chat. How you spell that? Kumihimo. Yes. No, I said that was. I don't know why YouTube. I told you not to broadcast right now. Okay, show us how it works, Cubby. We're getting asked how it works. And then because Shoshi, I told her, there's Shoshi. All right.
She's no longer a ring of keys.
She's no longer a ring of keys.
That's right. I am back to my regular human form.
What time is it where you are?
Shoshi. 9:45 a.m.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was. Aren't you are you in LA?
Yeah.
LA.
I thought it was 4 hours different.
No, it's 3.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Thank you.
It's close to 2 with you, Robert. Aren't you close to where the time barrier is? No.
No, I mean, yes. So
There's time barrier.
Ohio is closer to the edge of Eastern time, but that doesn't count for anything. Like, you've got to go into Central time before it actually changes. So even though we're closer than, say, Philadelphia.
Wait, are you on Eastern or Central?
Yeah.
I'm Eastern. You're Eastern still. Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm Eastern.
Yeah, it's not till like Chicago.
It always surprises
Indianapolis, right past Indianapolis, does it? Yeah.
You don't notice if you're passing Indianapolis, though.
Look, no one's willing to admit that time is just made up. You guys.
Well, I mean, but the sun does rise at a different point on the West Coast than it does on the East Coast.
But with Time Cube, you can have 4 days in one day. It's because of the square on the sphere.
There's no downside.
There's no downside. Who remembers old school internet Time Cube? Anyone?
Okay, but
Seriously,
no, but I was.
This isn't the crowd for that reference. There is no crowd for this reference.
Yeah.
But you were saying, Robert, I'm sorry.
No, so there's something. I thought you were talking about these time crystals, which I thought was a thing from Star Trek, but evidently scientists are now making time crystals, which are supposed to help with quantum computing. I started to read the article because I get like high brain science-y articles on my feed.
Oh.
And this one I got through like the first 3 sentences. I'm like, okay, got it. I don't got it. I have no idea what you people are doing, but keep doing it unless you blow up the space-time continuum like the Hadron Collider did, which caused Trump and COVID and all of that. Conspiracy theories.
Oh, is that what's okay?
I mean, we don't have any clue, but I think the world started going to crap shortly after they turned that thing on.
Look, no one's willing to admit that people are dumb.
Look.
I am. I will admit it all day. People are dumb. Not my friends. My friends, some of them are dumb. All right.
Whoa.
And my family, some of my family members are really dumb, even though they have a PhD. But
my friends are not dumb. They're stupid, which is far more glorious.
I think people in a unit are collectively stupid.
Unit.
Like the more people you get together and they start listening to each other's dumb ideas, and you don't want to say, no, you're a moron because they're your friend.
Speaking of which, everyone gather together and contribute to this Kickstarter.
Yes, right there. Oh, we broke $5,000. Look at that. Good job.
Thanks,
Good job.
dumb people.
You know, as a contrary point here, there is a certain brilliance that a group has that an individual does not have. If you
that is
like,
true.
If you do a guess the amount of marbles in a jar thing, if you average all of the guesses, you will get a much more accurate number than any of the individual guesses, which is why when people pull together to fund Goblin RPGs, there's a genius to be found.
There you go. People are pulling together. I have screens that I could show you all the people that are pulling together, but I think that's technically illegal. I don't believe I should stream that over the internet, but 134 awesome people at this point. Now, we have 22 days to go. It says that right there. What?
What are you, a doctor? There's no HIPAA violations on Kickstarter.
It's not a HIPAA violation. I'm pretty sure it's a Kickstarter violation. It might be a Twitch violation.
I'm going to give out a credit card an hour from now until the Kickstarter is funded.
I'm going to give out a business card an hour.
Okay, but it's not anybody that has pledged to the Kickstarter. Don't let Cuppy scare you. I don't have your credit card information. He certainly doesn't have your credit card information unless you've been using it at shady gas stations. And then he's got one of those little machines that, like, you know, just saying.
Yeah, I got one of them machines.
One of those machines. It's a pen.
Yeah, I just lean over at the shady gas station and write down
people's digits.
Numbers.
Yeah, there you go. That's That's the way to do it. Let's not get Nat 21 taken off the air today.
Be a bad day to get taken off the air.
Of course, Paulo could always claim, I don't know who these people are. They hijacked my stream. We have hijacked Paulo's stream today. That's what's going on. Yes. So, but no, Kickstarter doesn't give me your information. They give me your name and they give me your address and your email address so I can send you stuff. That's all the information I have. I don't even know if Kickstarter has your credit card information.
Oh, what stuff would you send them? What are the prizes that people could receive? Rewards.
Sure. That's a good question. So there's only 3 rewards for this Kickstarter. I have done Kickstarters in the past where you can get all sorts of stuff, every game I've ever made, and maps and books and
that's a terrible idea. Too many choices. I only want 3.
Well, there you go. And the reason we're only doing 3 is because, as I have explained to Mab and Dave Olsher and probably Shoshi, there are lots of other cool ideas, things we could make. We could print maps of Goblonia. We could make metal pins. We could do, I don't know, T-shirts that say smash the Patriarchy. And I'll admit that's a good idea, but it's not happening in the Kickstarter because this Kickstarter is about making a game and getting the book out there. And the more we add onto that, the more money we got to raise. And the more divided our attention becomes away from making a good, solid role-playing game. So we're making a role-playing game. We're making a book. The preferred level is $40, and it gets you a hardback book that's going to have over 220 pages. Like our quote is for 256 pages, but it hasn't gone through layout yet. So I say over 220 pages because I don't know exactly where to land. Like and what we unlock in stretch goals and stuff, it could be more than 256 pages. But if we only have enough material for 230 pages, then we do some creative layout to get a little bit smaller so we don't have to pay that extra couple of bucks every book for 10 pages. Because books are printed in folios like Shakespeare used to do, right? That's where it comes from. And this size is printed at 36 pages per folio. So if you use even one of those 36 pages, you get charged for all 36 of them. So because we are not printing this at a shady print-on-demand company, Amazon, in China or anything like that, it's being printed by a traditional printer in the United States. The same printer that did a whole bunch of books I've got over here.
Is it Gutenberg?
It is not Gutenberg.
Gutenberg
they've been around
is
a long
American.
time.
Is it Benjamin Franklin?
It's not, but it is the same company that did Starship Infernum and did Purgatory House for me. If you've got these books, Starship Infernum or Purgatory House, these come in at 120 pages. So you're looking at double the thickness of this book minimum. You're looking more at a book like that one. This one right here.
All I'm saying is if you want it thicker, you better get into that Kickstarter.
I mean, if you put more, right, Mab will just make her own stickers with Hooker and Blackjack.
In fact, forget about the stickers.
Forget about the stickers.
And the Blackjack.
So on the Kickstarter, it's you're getting the book. All right. Now, as
she means hookers like the position in rugby.
Oh, I thought that's what they called little old ladies that knitted. Aren't those hookers?
Oh, those could also be hookers, yes.
I am learning why my rugby team is doing so badly.
Yeah. Oh, it's little old ladies that do crochet.
Yeah, I have old lady prostitutes on my rugby team, and it's
probably. I mean, they've got experience. They've got experience.
They're very frail.
Honestly, an all sex worker rugby team would be awesome.
Yeah, but at one point, the osteoporosis outweighs the experience. If you get them too old, that was too big of a word. I stunned everyone.
Yeah, old.
You said you had little old ladies.
That's like when you have an engine that's very well lubricated, oiled.
Oh, it's oiled.
Hey,
Mhm.
hey, I am down quite a bit of blood
Pint.
today. So yes. Not for any altruistic reasons. I didn't like go donate my blood. The doctor needed it. So I don't know what he's doing with it.
They take more when you donate and you get a better blood high.
Oh. Yeah, but probably when you're doing it to check out medical things, they probably don't want you to donate that blood.
I spent a year at Blood High.
You did?
Yeah.
With all the teenage vampires?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that the cheaper version? That's the HBO version of Monster High.
Is HBO a cheaper version?
No, I was thinking more adult.
Right. Yes.
They did True Blood. It was like
they did True Blood.
prequel.
As opposed to like the CW. Gotcha.
As opposed to the CW, which is just more trashy.
Or Yahoo streaming.
Is that even still around?
Or Quibi. Quibi did a Blood High, but the chunks were too small.
I have no idea what you're talking about
both
here.
The blood and the series.
Robert, I have a lot of friends that love role-playing games, but they don't like learning a lot of rules.
Mm.
Okay. So I can sympathize with your friends here because there's this new trend in indie role-playing games, which is called solo role-playing games. Goblin is not a solo role-playing game. I was like, oh, okay, so that must be like the choose your own adventure books or the fighting fantasy books. I don't know if any of you all were geeks back in your middle school and high school. And
I was super cool in my youth.
I feel like
I can see that.
My whole life is just chasing the high of a choose your own adventure book.
Well, there you go. So solo role playing, I was like, okay, so that's like the choose your own adventure books, but you roll some dice to see what happens. Because I had one of those and I loved it, and I did it over and over again, and I think I constantly died, which is why I did it over and over again. I don't think I ever finished that book. But it was about, being in King Arthur's court or something, and there was an evil wizard, and you had to go down in the series, and you rolled dice, and you died. But I thought that's what a solo role-playing game would be. In fact, most of these are journaling prompts.
Oh.
And I'm like, people, you are already making me do math to play these role-playing games, and now you want me to write stuff as well? I'm not having it. Just not having it. And then my friends are like, you are an author. And I'm like, yes, but I get paid.
You
pennies to write words.
Plus, you tricked you into writing. You didn't get tricked by an outside.
I tricked everyone into me writing and said, no, this is a real job. But if you Goblonia, back to Goblonia. Whoops, let's put that back up on the screen. There are rules for Goblonia. I do not think they are terribly hard to learn. There's one core rule. Now, Goblonia doesn't use dice. And for some people, that's whoa, wait a second. No, I've got to roll my clicky-clacky rocks here. There are a couple reasons Goblonia doesn't use dice. One, because I seem to have fallen into the trap of enjoying making role-playing games that work on cards. Purgatory House and Starship Infernum run on blackjack. This Goblonia runs on a simplified version of poker / rummy. Okay, you're drawing cards, and if you have cards that match, that's good. The more cards you match, the higher the number, the better. You're comparing your hand against the Weaver's hand, the Dungeon Master's hand. Whoever has a higher hand wins. That's the core rule. And through the course of designing the game, we have tried to make that as easy to grasp as possible. So much so that last week we cut a piece of that puzzle completely out of the game because some people found it confusing. I didn't find it confusing because I designed the game, but some people did. So you look at your sheet, you see how many points you have in a path. And let me see if I can put that up on here. Boom. Let's see. Right there. You see those little tiny dots on the character sheet. Obviously, the character sheets aren't this small. They're going to be on actual full sizes of paper. But you see how many dots you've got in something you want to do? You draw that many cards. And then you can add bonuses to it, depending on different things. My mouse is on the wrong screen. There we go. Depending on different things. So if your profession, like Cubby's playing a mad scientist, if he's doing something mad sciencey, he gets another card. Shoshi, I don't know if Shoshi has anything that gives her card. Oh, Shoshi, it came out last week, has a tentacle arm. She's gonna put on the tentacle arm. Her character has a tentacle arm. So if she can work in that tentacle arm, she gets an extra card. So the core rule of this game, I think, is pretty easy. I don't know how you all feel about it. I mean, I will admit, it is not as easy as taking a 6-sided dice and rolling it and saying a 6 wins, anything else loses. That's probably the simplest mechanic you can have for a game. It's a little too simple for me. How do you feel about the rules?
Are you telling me that all of those stupid friends that I was talking about earlier could play this with me? Oh my goodness. A game like this has got to cost $100 easily.
For you, yes. Absolutely. For everybody else...
I did notice there was an upcharge for me when I backed it.
So for most people, you can back this Kickstarter at $5. You don't get the game, but not everybody wants the game. Some people are just like, hey, Cubby's cool, Shoshi's cool. I don't know this Robert guy. We'll put some money on it because they said so. $5, and I am going to mail you, when all this is said and done, a Goblin postcard. What is a Goblin postcard?
From Goblonia?
From Goblonia, from the Goblin postal system. Now, unfortunately, we have to also mail it through the U.S. postal system. So it used to be that the U.S. postal system was way more reliable than the Goblonian postal system. That is evidently rapidly changing. So we're going to mail you a postcard. Are you going to get it? Once it's in the mail, it's out of my hands. If you don't get it, we'll send you another one.
Both literally and figuratively.
Correct. All right. So you can just toss $5 at it. Say, hey, y'all are awesome people. Here's $5. Go do your weird thing. And we're happy with that. And you'll get a thank you next year, some point that says, hey, thank you. So the postcards for this, back when I was performing as Gandersnitch the Goblin, my kids wanted to come on the road with me. But my deal was, if you are coming, you are working. Because I'm there to work, I'm not there to play. So we have to come up with the vaguest idea of a character, a costume. I didn't expect them to put on full makeup and prosthetics. I didn't expect them to dance on a ball like Joshua or do this rapid fire comedy routine like Shoshi. But they had to do something. And we came up with a bit for them that was called the Goblin Post Office. And so they would walk around with their Goblin Post Office satchel and their post office hat and their vest and their funky animal glasses or whatever it was that they were doing. And they would sell postcards, Goblonian postcards, to the people there. So you could buy a postcard. You just buy a postcard. I think it was $1 to buy a postcard. And they would take it out and they would go through their whole thing of stamping it with all the Goblonian stamps and making sure it was all official and then officially delivering it. Or you could have it delivered to someone else on the fair, either somebody randomly or somebody on the fair. That cost $2, but you only had to pay one of them because the way the Goblonian post office works is you pay for the mail when you get it. So you would buy a postcard, write the message on it. They would stamp it all up and go find the person, deliver it to them, but it's postage due. So they got $2 for that one postcard. It was brilliant. It was awesome. So we are doing something similar with the postcards this time. We have got hundreds and hundreds of random, funky, weird postcards left over from the Goblin Post Office bit that my kids used to do. We are making a big Goblonia stamp that looks just like the one you see here. All right, the black parts of it. We are going to stamp the heck out of the front of these postcards. We're going to do the Goblin.
All COD.
And then, no, they're not COD. We're not going to charge you on that.
That's not the part you're keeping? Oh, okay.
No, we're not going to charge you on the back end for these two. And then when it comes out, we will ask you if you want a Goblin message on it or not. And if you want a goblin message on it, we are going to just pretend that this is a goblin sending the postcard to another goblin in Goblonia and write some insane, not R-rated message on there. Put your address on it, slap it in the mail, and send it to you. So it's just a cool, fun little way to contribute money and say thank you. If you don't want a goblin message on it and just want to say thank you, we can do that too. Some people have asked if they can buy extra postcards. Oh, we're pondering that. Logistically, it's not a terribly good idea for us, but we're looking on it. So Mabs gets a dirty limerick. So the other thing you can do to support this is if you don't want the hardback book or you don't live in the United States, you can purchase the PDF of the game. It's $20. You get the PDF. And when it's all said and done, you will also get a code access to a print-on-demand copy through DriveThruRPG. Now, to order from for a print-on-demand, you pay this other company, DriveThruRPG, very reputable, the cost of them printing the book and shipping it to you wherever you live in the world. All right? And they're able to do that because they can print it locally to you. I mean, probably not your buddy's house down the street. You wouldn't want to pay for that. But like if you're based in the EU, they have printers in the EU. If you're based in Australia, I don't know where they print it, but they print it and they send it to you. They're a much bigger company. They can do that. We cannot anymore ship things internationally. The taxes and the VAT and all of that has gotten too crazy to ship a book to anybody that doesn't live in the United States. But you can get the game. You can get it in PDF, and then you can deal with that back-end taxes and stuff on your own if you really want a copy in physical form. And the last thing, if you want the cool print in the United States, hardback edition of this book signed by me. And this is something I didn't put on the Kickstarter, but I'm going to show you all right now since this is Crafting with the Crazies. I thought it was actually called Crafting with the In-Laws. Evidently, that's a movie or something. So whatever this show is called. Where's the... Too many windows.
It's a Neil Simon script.
It's a Neil Simon script.
It's so terrible. It's so terrible.
The inside cover of the hardback book is going to have this map. Not in fabric.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah, it'll be printed on the end sheets.
Oh, Robert, make yourself full screen and hold that up. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So end sheets are this piece of paper right here in every book, hardback book, that holds the cover to the rest of the book. Normally, they're blank. They're white. All right? We have worked it out with our printer that they are going to print this map created by my dear friend Mark Hudgens. Some of the labels are not in this version because they're places we don't go in the game of Goblonia. But this map will be printed in full color on the end sheets of the book. So, whoop, where'd my picture go? So it'll be something like this, only sized properly, so it's not all hanging out, because that would just be...
And it'll probably actually be the Goblonia book, right? It won't be a random book you find.
It won't be Starship Infernum. That's not going to be the book you get with this. So you're going to get Mark's map of the Goblin Realms in the front cover of that book. That's a given. That's already included. I've priced that out. That is happening. If we can, our first stretch goal is going to be for actually the map of Goblonia, which that's my crafting project back there on the drafting table. The map of Goblonia. I decided a couple months ago I was not happy with the digital computer done version that I had created for playtesting. So I am redrafting the entire map by hand, and then we'll ink it in. I may hire somebody else to ink it in. We'll see where we are at that point. And if we can, our first stretch goal is going to be that everybody gets a copy of that map on a 12 by 17 poster, so that they can fold it out. I mean, everybody will get a copy of the map in the PDF, but it'll be a little size, or you make it big and print it out and cut it up and put it together yourself. We're going to try and make it so I can include that in the book as well, like a map that you pull out and can lay on your table and see the various places in Goblonia. So those are this is happening. This is in the book. This is happening. And I probably need to make an update to let everybody know that that's happening. But the fold out map that you can draw on, that's a stretch goal.
If we could backtrack for 1 second, I want to make
Sure.
a quick correction. Earlier, Shoshi mentioned that old is when your engine is well lubricated, but I've been thinking about it, and I think that is the type of lang syne that people like to sing about.
Yes.
Mm.
It's I think that is a relative of ennui.
You know what? You know what
that-
though? I think actually, Cubby, you're thinking about Ald, which is sort of like a Scottish version of old. I think old is when you have you've got like a priest and you've got like sort of some of the people under them, and that's an Ald.
Oh, you know what?
No,
you're thinking
that
of an
is
altar.
pedophilia, and it is wrong.
What?
That's the priest
That's
with someone under them.
How you pronounce that word?
I think you're thinking altar.
Altar.
Yeah, you know
Altar.
what? You're right.
Altar.
You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
The word we're trying to think what it means. Old. That's when you have a primary character you play in a game, but then you have a different one that you play only sometimes.
No, you're thinking of alternate.
Ah.
Right. Yeah. No,
AKA
it's a
alt.
common mistake. No, I believe ald is when so say you have so you've got like even numbers.
Yeah.
And then you have like
I'm
all
familiar
the
with
other
that.
all
No,
the other
just-
numbers.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you've got like even numbers and then you have all the other numbers and those are the ald.
Those are the
numbers.
old numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except 0.
Right.
Well,
Which is
I mean,
neither. And both.
technically, I think you mean integers.
You're right. Thank you. Integers. You're correct.
But weirdly, Mab just said you're thinking of
You know, right? I
yeah.
totally am. You know what?
You know what? It's so simple. We're overthinking this. It's a supermarket chain where you can go there. They have cheaper stuff, but they only have one brand, and
you have to
don't
pay a
the
quarter.
bags.
You have to rent your shopping cart. You have to.
Yeah, it's like Trader Joe's, but like
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
Less
Mab makes a
whimsical.
good point. I think you're thinking of Aldi, which is old is when you use it's like a pointy spike and you use it to pierce like in a belt, like if you need more belt holes for your yeah, like a big version of that. Yeah, that's an old.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. We figured it out.
We got it.
Wait. Oh no, that's an all.
Oh, you're
Also-
right.
Also one of those.
Man.
Also one of those. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't it a bird? Like a nocturnal bird?
Oh,
With the big eyes and its head turns all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
You know what? We need monster puppets for this bit, as if we were on Sesame Street.
Would you like to learn the difference between near and far?
I would like to learn the difference between near and far.
And I say
This
that the
is
one time I don't have a
near.
puppet.
This is far. Near. Far.
Johnny, you missed that part. We've already abandoned the lang syne. Yeah.
It's a common mistake. A lot of people.
It's a
think that's
common
what it is.
misunderstanding. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be that. But now this is that we were actually talking about elderly prostitutes on rugby teams. And I don't think we should revisit that topic. I think it's been beaten to death. And
That is exactly what happened to
That's
the,
exactly
to the
what
old
happened.
women on my rugby team.
Oh no.
yeah.
Well,
And,
they weren't very good at playing rugby, so.
well,
It was the hooligans who got him.
yes, the fans, the rugby fans.
I wouldn't call them fans at the point where they're beating the players to death. That more attendees at that.
Well, I think they're
Guess?
still. I think they're still considered fans. They're just passionate fans at that point. Passionate fans with self-control issues. Yeah.
Dad?
I mean, I was going to go to the. I'm not going to go there. It's a scar on our nation's history. But we'll move on.
Does it
from that.
involve Philadelphia? Because
Well, no, I mean, like the Grand Canyon is a literal scar on our nation, and it has history. This is more of a metaphorical scar.
yeah. No, it's just usually if there's like a metaphorical scar on our nation's conscience and involves sports teams and the fans thereof, it probably happened in Philadelphia.
I don't know. I've only been to Philadelphia twice.
Oh,
I think it goes to our. Oh wait, you're from Philadelphia, aren't you?
Yeah,
Cubby. You both
Philly.
Are. Well, I'm gonna let you all talk about Philly stuff. I like Philly cheesesteaks. Philly cheesesteaks are awesome.
Delicious.
That's my favorite thing out of Philly. Just like French fries are my favorite thing out of France. Only I think Philly cheesesteaks are probably more legit. Like they're really from Philly, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And in France they call them pommes frites.
Yeah, but they're not even from France.
Yeah, no, potatoes are from America. The Americas.
They used to be from Ireland, but there was that whole famine thing.
No, they were, well, yeah, they were there for a while. But originally.
Yeah, they were part of the Columbian Exchange.
Oh.
Along with tomatoes.
Potatoes are
potatoes,
peanuts, avocados.
Peanuts are
peppers,
distinctly North American, South America. I don't know if they grow peanuts in South America. It's distinctly a North American thing. And then eventually the Columbian Exchange went right past all the vegetables and got into crack cocaine. So
yeah, with my girl Gracia Blanco.
I mean, yeah, ounce for ounce, I think it's worth more. I don't know, but as long as you're eating 5 fruits and vegetables a day.
I mean, it comes from a plant.
It does. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fruit that's legally a vegetable.
Legally.
Cubby, all fruits are legally vegetables.
No, there's different tariff things for fruits or vegetables, and the legal
that's just bad science, because technically a vegetable is any part of a plant that you can eat, and a fruit is the reproductive organs of a plant, and a nut is what you have on this show today.
I think we can all agree. Nobody knows what a nut is.
Let's talk about droops.
They're not nuts. Don't get me started.
Let's talk about what?
On what is it? Droops?
Droops. Let's talk about droops.
What? Oh, we just opened a can here.
Oh,
we're gonna talk
I love a
droops.
can of droops. Ooh, a good can of droops.
I'm gonna interrupt here real quick. Shoshi, what time does your training start?
Oh, I've got a little more time. It's an hour later than I thought it was. Thank you for
because if it was 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I gotta go in about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So thank you for checking. I appreciate that.
Maybe not enough time to really get into droops.
I mean, there's a whole TED talk we could do on droops.
I mean, that would be 10 minutes then. That'd be the right amount of time.
Maybe like a TEDx on droops.
Oh, there are no rules when it's a TEDx. TEDx is like the
no rules.
Thunder.
Yeah.
I gotta fix that link. I mean, you can go there. So Nightbot just posted about the Kickstarter again, which evidently now includes droops.
Oh, don't promise droops.
Don't promise droops on the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Okay, we got to go over what a droop is. But while we're going over what a droop is, back the freaking Kickstarter. You know you want to. If you haven't already done it, you want to get more of this with less of us. That's basically what you're getting into there.
That's amazing. There's already 135 backers. That's so cool.
There are 135 backers. Yes. When I went to sleep last night, we had just broken the halfway point, which was $4,000.
Amazing.
Because I refused to go to sleep. We were so close. I was like, I'm not going to be able to sleep. I know I'm just going to sit here checking my phone. So I'm glad we actually hit it at 10:30 so I could pretend to go to sleep. I still sat there and checked my phone and played Rummy on my phone against the AIs until 11:30. But yes. So I don't know about droops. Like this morning at the doctor's office, my doctor flat out asked, "Are you eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day?" And my answer was, I mean, that's a goal. And he said, "Do you have access to fruits and vegetables every day?" I was like, "Yes. And I eat some of them." He goes, "We'll start there." But he didn't say anything about droops. So,
right, so first of all, I defy you to name a nut.
like, that I didn't date?
No, a nut. Like, name a nut.
A pecan?
I think that's actually a nut.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, I mean, an almond,
Not a nut.
a walnut. It's
Not
in the
a
freaking
nut.
name. It's in the name.
Cashews? Not a nut. But you know
No,
what a cashew
but-
is?
It's a droop.
It's a droop!
Now it makes sense. They're like the little dangling things. Like, because a nut, then what's the definition of a nut? Like, it's got to be inside. Like, the cashew grows outside of the fruit.
I straight up give up trying to figure out what a nut is.
What's an olive? Also a droop.
Oh!
So, people are going to think I'm insane when I recommend this. But one of the best salty snacks to eat very, very occasionally, because it's probably not good for you at all,
I'm
is
interested.
a queen olive. And you know how often you get queen olives? Those are the big ones that come in the jar, and often they have like pimentos in them or blue cheese.
I've
Peanut butter.
straight up sat down and eaten a jar of queen olives.
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter in an olive?
in the queen olives. Just try it. Try it once.
I love peanut butter I put peanut butter on my hot dogs. I love
I
peanut
put
butter
hummus on
everything.
hot dogs. I've
It's
never
delicious.
tried peanut butter. I put peanut butter on cheeseburgers.
Yeah, also delicious.
I don't do it often because, again, probably not the best healthy eating choice there. But I've never put a fried egg on a hamburger, so I feel I've got that going for me. I like fried eggs and I like cheeseburgers, but I mean they don't go in the same meal.
Oh, they do.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Well, I
Here's
get
the
that,
thing.
but
It's the brioche buns. Terrible for burgers. They're not absorbent enough. It's a good bun, but it's too hearty. It doesn't suck in. You need an absorbent bun to catch all the runny yolk. And then
Gotcha.
it's amazing.
I mean, I've got eggs, but we had burgers last night, so I if I get a time
I had
machine,
a
I'll
burger
go
last
back.
night too.
Yeah, it was a normal burger. I mean, I just grilled them.
Mine was an abnormal burger.
Ooh, what did yours have on it?
Was it
Actually, it was
human?
very. Yes.
Oh,
I don't really want to talk about it.
That's okay. All right. Mine was, I didn't do anything weird. I just had bacon and mayonnaise and mustard and cheddar cheese on it and slightly
Sounds great.
toasted bun.
Ooh.
See,
Ooh.
that sauteed
Yeah.
onions, love it. Sauteed mushrooms, love it. Ham, yeah, I don't know if it really adds anything to the burger. Bacon, it's when you start getting to the barbecue sauce, I think there's better toppings that you can put on the burgers and a fried egg on top. There's just something about the fried egg. And I'm the kind of person that will swear by put peanut butter and jelly on your burger, not grape jelly. I don't like grape jelly on a burger, but
Grape
peach
jelly
preserves.
is the worst jelly.
Right, it is. But I mean, peach preserves. I'll put peach preserves on a burger even when I'm not having peanut butter on it.
That sounds
Just-
yummy.
Yeah, because it melts just a little bit, and fruit with red meat is a delicious flavor combination.
Fruit with I love sweet and savory
Yeah,
together.
it goes well together.
In New Zealand, where my family lives, they put pineapple on their burgers, and highly recommend.
Like, do they grill the pineapple?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes beets.
Do they grill the beets? Like, I'm not even sure how you cook a beet.
Thanks.
Oh, you gotta cook a beet though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't need a beet
be
raw.
like canned and like cooked in the canning process.
I think so. I think they're canned and then they like slice them up and put them on. It's very nice. It adds like an interesting texture.
Yeah.
Oof. Agree with that, Mab.
Yeah. Now, do you put goat cheese on a goat burger, or is that just too much goat?
I would try that.
I would try that, but goat is a tougher meat.
Like
the
goat
is always like stewed.
Oh, it's so
right.
That's
good,
though.
That's true.
Oh my
you could
god!
Stew the goat and then put it on. You could stew it, and can you pull it? Like you can pull pork, or
you do like a pulled goat burger with goat.
Yes.
Done.
Yes.
All right. Well, my kids wanted the goat, so we'll see about making that happen.
Yeah,
I need something.
Totally,
need something in the backyard.
Totally, Sally.
You can eat beet raw, according to Sir David Percival.
Really? See, I like roasted vegetables. I'm not a big fan of most raw vegetables. Like I don't like broccoli raw, but if I put it under the broiler in the oven on a sheet of tinfoil, sprinkle a little bit of olive oil, fresh ground salt and pepper over it, and roast it just for a couple of minutes so it kind of chars the edges. That's delicious. And I found that my kids like that too.
Oh, you know what you could do on some of the postcards? Is you could send someone a recipe.
Yes, I did in today's update say that because I was talking about what future updates would be, that I would talk about the people involved in the game and the art, and I would probably post my alcoholic banana bread recipe.
What?
Which seems out of left field, but here's how that came about. One of the very first artists I hired to make art on a game for me, Tony Steele, he does art professionally for games and t-shirts and stuff. In his contract, it said that as well as the money's paid, I was to send him one loaf of banana bread. And so I asked him about that. I said, is that just a clause to make sure people actually read this contract? He goes, no, I just really like banana bread. and it gives me a personal connection to the project. So I sent him homemade banana bread. And he's used to people just buying banana bread and sending it to him because he works for people with more money than me. And who buys banana bread? I don't even understand that. You make banana bread. That's what you do with.
I wouldn't know where to look for banana bread.
Right, right. Where do you? So I made him banana bread, but the other artists working on that project or the next project found out that Tony was getting banana bread, and so then they wanted banana bread, and I was like, next. You're going to ask me for whiskey too. And they're like, oh, could you make banana bread with whiskey in it? And so I did. And it's pretty good. So now that is a thing that not all the artists get it. I think on Weird Scouts, I had too many artists to send everybody banana bread. But that is a thing that artists or, I have a list of special thanks running above my desk of people that have done special things for the game in the development, and it will say whether or not they get banana bread next to their name or not. There's one up here with a question mark, and I don't think that's a question mark of should he get banana bread. I think that's a question mark of are you sure this is who did that?
So how do you? If you're somebody who's helping somehow, like I don't know, maybe you're helping showcase the game
on an impromptu as we take over crafting with the creatures on Nat 21,
and like you're part of the weekly team that showcases how much fun the game is.
We'll just have to see. We'll have to see because Cubby, if I were to say right now, oh yeah, if you promote this game, you get banana bread, I would be making thousands of loaves of banana bread, which is probably worth it. But at some point, I have to make a game too. I mean, the game's mostly made. At some point, I have to finish my editing and then send it off to.
Also,
to
I
editor.
can't imagine that boozy banana bread mails very well.
Well, I mailed it to. I was
Shochi is
about
giving
to
you an
tell
out
you
here.
where I've mailed it
Shochi is
to.
giving you an out.
You know
But-
what though? You could make like if someone wants to donate $1,000, you'll make and mail them.
But I'm not
boozy
going to do
banana
that. Johnny O Twitch, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to send any Kickstarter backers banana bread. I am going to post the recipe on as a Kickstarter update. You know what? I'll go ahead and I'll say it right here. You all can hold me to it. When we reach our goal, I will post the recipe for Jack Daniel's banana bread. You don't have to use Jack Daniel's. I've used other stuff in it. Jack Daniel's at the time happened to be the whiskey I had, and it was my. Is this the final form of Banana Assassin? It could be. It could be. That's from the Tuesday night games, Banana Assassin, or the Sunday games. I don't know where Banana Assassin is anymore.
Oh no!
But I will post the recipe that I use to make alcoholic banana bread. Jack Daniel's is what I used. I've used other thing. I've used bourbon in it. I've used Crown.
Have you ever tried rum? Because then it's a banana daiquiri bread.
Oh, I'll try rum. I'll try rum this time. I have Kraken on the counter. I don't really want to put the Kraken in banana bread. That's a good sipping rum. And I have found, I told you all on the other stream on our Goblonia game that we went to the liquor store and we ended up buying the alcohol that comes with the free glasses because you get a free glass and it's cheaper than buying just the bottle of alcohol. Who knows? Crazy marketing. But I got Jack Daniel's that had this fancy Jack and Coke glass, like it was emblazoned with the Jack logo and the Coca-Cola logo, and it's shaped like a Coke can, but it's glass. It looks kind of nice. And then I got the tentacle, Cthulhu tentacle tiki mug that I showed you that came with the Kraken rum last week on air. I don't know what's going on with me. This is part of the reason I went to the doctor this morning. I don't like the taste of Jack Daniel's anymore. And that used to be my go-to.
That's what made you go to the doctor?
No, but that was part of it.
Doctor, something terrible has happened.
Something terrible has happened.
Doctor, I have to show you something. I didn't enjoy that as much as I should.
Enjoy that. Right.
My God, let me direct you to a specialist.
Oh, yeah.
But have you tried raw broccoli? Maybe you like raw broccoli now.
I don't like raw broccoli. I don't like raw broccoli. Although as a child, I didn't like mushrooms or olives. And as an adult, I like mushrooms, and I've grown to like olives. I can remember as a young adult, I was 20, 21. It's really a kid. But working on a theatrical production of, what was that? What was that show? It's something about a painting that's just white. Like, it's three roommates arguing over. Is it called Art? Is that the name of the show?
It's called Art.
All right. So and it's about this stupid painting that's just white, right? And how much they paid for this painting and fighting over the painting. And it devolves into all their personal problems and everything else. But they wanted olives to snack on as part of the business on stage, right? So we got it. And they wanted Katamala olives. That's what they wanted. Snack.
The best,
so we got them
my favorite.
And part of my job as the assistant stage manager, we didn't have like a props crew or running crew on this one. It was a smaller, it wasn't a black box theater, but it's essentially the same thing. It was a small stage with seating, and it was in what used to be a history center. So it's where they would do like the president stands on stage and talks to the class about something. So small, intimate space. And so I was the running crew essentially as the assistant stage manager. So I had to prepare the olives and all the stuff on the thing. And I said to one of the actors, I can't believe you all are eating these things. They smell terrible. He's like, no, you got to try them. These are the best olives. So I tried one and it did not sit well with me. And there's no nearby bathroom. So what we had was backstage was a room that had a sink in it. And that was it. And there was no exit from that room other than going on stage. So I tried one during the show, and I'm back there trying not to make noise as I spit it out and rinse my mouth out in the sink, everything else. I hated it. Fast forward 20 years, and I love them. I mean, they're great. So I think there is something to that, Sally, about body changes and definitely your
Totally.
taste buds mature and develop. Because I think mushrooms are great too. And asparagus, probably something I would never eat as a kid, but grilled asparagus is actually surprisingly tasty. It's not something I would eat like every day. Again, I'm not a big fan of raw vegetables. Carrots and tomatoes, I'll eat raw. And pickles. Pickles, I will eat raw. Because I don't think, like... I mean, I guess you can deep fry pickles.
They're good to fry.
Sure can.
The pickle chips are really good. Pickle chips are really good.
Ooh, I have to say goodbye to all of you. I have a training I have to go to.
Yes.
Thank you so much for letting me spend a little time with everybody, and thank you to everyone who's contributed to the Kickstarter. Tell your friends, tell your family. It's, you know what? You can choose to spend your dollars anywhere in this world, but this is really going to put some fun and some joy out into the world. So...
yeah, I mean, you could like do something crazy like adopt a whale or an orphan child or something, or you can back a cool game on Kickstarter.
Or you could adopt several goblin characters.
There you go. All right, thank you, Shoshi. We will see you tonight. Shoshi will be back on screen in a couple of hours. Wow. And in 7.5 hours to play a professional test subject.
So these are the vegetables that I prefer raw to cooked.
Okay.
Peppers, zucchini, number 1, corn. So much better raw.
Raw corn, really? I mean, I'm okay with cold corn. I don't know if that's technically raw. Like when you get it at Chipotle in their like corn and tomato salsa. Is that raw corn?
Probably not. Like it's probably canned and it's like cooked a little in the canning process. But raw corn it's very crisp.
It seems like that would wreak havoc going through your intestines.
I mean, it is anyway. Like
that is true. That is true. It's one of the few things that comes out looking exactly the same as how it went in. Yes, Legos are one of the other things.
Oh,
yeah.
I'd always heard that Legos just stay in your stomach for 7 years.
No, that's bubble gum. That's chewing gum.
That's all. Yeah, that's also not true though.
It's not true. But now, I guess depending on how many Legos it was and how well they were clicked together, like it could stay in there for a while.
Yeah.
They get caught on something.
Yeah, they will need to perform surgery on you if that happens though.
Yes. Don't eat Legos. Don't eat batteries. Don't eat raw corn.
Look, I'm not telling anyone what to do.
Right, I'm not either. I'm telling them what not to do.
Except for backing this Kickstarter. You know, Shoshi pointed out that you have a lot of choices what to do with your money. I'm pointing out that you don't. That you are now, by dint of watching this, obligated to back you're legally obligated to back both of these Kickstarters now.
There we go. Both of these Kickstarters. Ans's Kickstarter with all the cool art and Robert's Goblonia role-playing game Kickstarter right there. Also with lots of cool art. Actually, Cubby, hang on a minute. Where is the Goblonia section? Whoops! There goes the Goblonia background. That was not intentional, but we did it anyway. Oh, so here's that map I was talking about that I did digitally for the playtest. Just decided, it's fine. I'm not loving it. Serves its purpose. But there's the map that's going to go on the inside. But that's not the map of the city. I mean, it is the map of the city. You can see the city rising up there in the middle. But there's some art. There's some art from the amazing Thomas Boatwright. That's his interpretation of the city of Goblonia. What's this one? This is some trolls. Oh, I just noticed. Every time I look at Thomas's artwork, I notice something new. And I had to approve all this artwork, like from thumbnails on. I never noticed that he had a little goblin in his hand there before. That troll's holding a goblin. I seriously did not know that until just now looking at it. Is that the only 2 pieces of art I've got loaded in right now? It's the only 2 pieces of art I've got loaded in. Well, you can sort of see his art here on the cover of the Quick and Dirty edition, which, by the way, you can download this Quick and Dirty edition from the Kickstarter page and check it out before you even back the Kickstarter. That's how much people are enjoying this game, that I'm willing to say, hey, here, check it out. I'm not making you buy something sight unseen. Now, this is not the full rules by any means, but it gets you started. It gives you an overview. It shows you some stuff going on, and you get to see some samples of the art in there. And there, that is that's the cover right now. We're probably going to change the font down there where it says created by Robert Turk. I just haven't found the font that I love for that. I'm okay with the typewriter font, but it might not, because my keys on my keyboard are very clicky clacky. They make a lot of noise, so I feel like I'm writing stuff on a typewriter. And I think if you write with a typewriter font, maybe, I don't know, maybe that adds some legitimacy to your writing. Hey, Ale Cake, how you doing? Hello. This is Crafting with nobody, really, today. Normally on Nat 21 Wednesday afternoon. Oh, Cubby was crafting. And I was drawing this map back there, but not on screen, because that would be kind of boring. You'd just be looking at the back of my head as I'm hunched over a drafting table, drawing stuff you can't see. But today, goblins have taken over crafting with the peoples from Nat 21. Cubby, you were going to show people how to use that thing.
Well, I started trying to figure out how to actually get it on camera.
Oh.
Let me try this. It won't take long because it's insanely easy.
All right, I'm going to make you big.
You just go clockwise. 1 up. 1 down.
You move to the
1
next
up.
one. All right.
1 down.
And if you just got, what kind of thread is that?
I like using the really big craft thread assortments that you can get for like $10 to $15.
Sure. Is it like embroidery floss then?
I like the craft thread, which is twisted. The embroidery floss isn't, so it's you just get like a slightly different texture to the end results. But you can totally use embroidery floss. You can use literally any string. You can use yarn, and your end result is just a cute little.
Yeah. That's
string.
awesome. That is awesome. All right. Boom. Back to the both of us. I don't know that I have anything. I'm going to move back to where are we? Creating with the crew background. Because then you get to see Ansa's awesome art back there behind us as well.
Yeah,
so,
that does look really cool.
What else have we got in here? What kind of tools can we play with? Oh, let's see. What's that? A map of Sissel. It's like Sicily without the I. That's got something to do with Nat 20, with the regular Nat 20. All right, back to Ansa stuff. They don't have any cool things for me to play with over here.
That
We're
was
just-
that old sock puppet show on MTV, Beanie and Sissel, right?
Oh, I have no idea. I did not watch. I think I can safely say that I have never watched MTV in my entire life. Like maybe for a song or two back when they did music videos on MTV. But we didn't have cable when I was growing up, and which really meant we didn't have TV when I was growing up. We had physical televisions, but they didn't pick anything up. So like MTV, Beavis and Butthead, any of that stuff. Was Jackass on MTV? Big Brother, was that on MTV?
Jackass was. I think Big Brother was a network.
Okay. MTV had something about people living in the house together.
The Real World.
I missed Real World. Gotcha. I missed all of it. So I don't have that cultural touchstone to. I mean, Beavis and Butthead, clearly, I know who they are.
Yeah.
And when I was in
Honestly,
high school,
the only things you really missed out on are some cool commercials, and you would have really dug Liquid Television, it was all weird experimental animation shorts.
Oh, yeah, I might have liked that.
You should maybe even check it out.
I might look that one up. I was not a huge fan though of the experimental animated Matrix stuff. So if it was like that, then I don't know if that was.
It was way weirder.
Way weirder. Okay, all right. Have you seen by chance the Disney anime stuff for Star Wars? Like, I don't know what they're calling it. Disney Vision, Star Wars Visions or something?
Star Wars Visions? I have not. I don't do the duh plus.
You don't support the mouse?
I just don't.
You're more of a Scarlett Johansson supporter?
It's not really about supporting anything. It's about being poor. Well, you see,
right?
lad, it turns out that I get my media through different means, ones that I can't talk about in public, says I.
Sure. Yes. You live in a big city. You've got a pair of binoculars. Say no more. Right. You saw, which one did you see, Sir David? Because I saw that first one. I am not a huge anime fan. Again, it comes from not really having TV growing up. So, and we didn't really have TV when my kids were growing up. We have Netflix. Now we have like all of them. We don't have regular TV, but we got Netflix. We got Amazon Prime, which I don't even actually think there's TV shows on there or movies anymore. I don't know what's on there. I don't ever click on it. We got Hulu at the beginning of the pandemic because there was some stupid sale where you paid like $1.99 for 6 months of it or something. And so we do get to see some regular TV that way. We got Disney Plus. Is that all the things? Oh, and HBO something. HBO Max, HBO Plus, HBO Go, whatever it is now. But some of these are like timeshare arrangements with other people that live in our house. If our house covered multiple states, that kind of thing. My favorite, actually, I'd have to say is, Disney Plus is good, but it's kind of like it's kept us now from buying the movies we would have bought, like all the Marvel movies. And so there's this thought of like Facebook totally went down the other day, and everything connected to Facebook went down. And I'm like, the same thing could happen to any of these other companies, Amazon or Disney or anything. And then all the media that we have, forget communicating with friends. I can live without that. We lived without that for the first 20-something years of my life. You just learn to write postcards, which you can get by backing Gablonia. No.
I like how you tied that in there.
Right. Yes. Because there's a Kickstarter happening right now. There it is, the Gablonia Kickstarter. We've passed the $5,000 mark.
Woo!
Woohoo! I know, 136 backers, 22 days to go. And a lot of my friends, and this is my 10th Kickstarter, so I would have thought that people would kind of get it by now, but I also realize that, I'm in this. This is what I do, and I have to look at the back end of all this stuff and understand the marketing and all that stuff. But a lot of my friends are like, whoa, you got 22 days to go. That's amazing. And it is. That's good, hitting this much on the first day. What they don't realize is gaming Kickstarters, the trend is that you need to hit your goal within the first 48 hours. Or you lose all the buzz that you had built, because there's so many Kickstarters coming out so fast that Kickstarter won't even consider it. Like, they won't put it on their front page or anything until you're funded. And then only if it's within the first 48 hours, because the next thing's already moving to supplant you. So that's the goal. Really, we have to hit $8,000 by October 28th. That's the real goal. But if we could hit $8,000 by the 48-hour mark, woo, that gives us a significant leg up in marketing. All right. What have we got? I don't know. Colin, I'm just putting things up here on the screen, and they could be adult material, and I wouldn't even know. Exactly. I have read that twice, forward and backwards, and I still don't know what we're talking about. But there you have it. Thank you.
I think it's poetry.
It could be. Oh,
That's
so we got to
why
play it with.
don't understand it, because it's deep.
I think it's a song. We'll have to get Johnny on here to play it for us. Speaking of which, Cubby, I think I promised the Kickstarter folks that if we got to the halfway point before I went to bed on Monday night, that we would all sing a song for them tonight. So I don't know if Mab wrote a different song. If not, we'll be singing If You're Goblin and You Know It, which was the song I posted when she said she was going to write a song, just to prove how easy it is to write a bad Goblin song.
I wish Johnny O Twitch had not ended that little poetry with Kremlin, because it stuck Rocky Erickson's Two-Headed Dog in my head. It's good. Rocky Erickson is the single best artist to listen to on Halloween month. His debut album, The Evil One, every song shares a title with a B movie, horror sci-fi B movie. I don't think we can play this. But here, I don't know how streaming works, so it's all in your.
There it is.
Yeah, but it's a great song. And Two-Headed Dogs are very Goblin.
They could be. We have not had a two-headed Goblin yet. Nobody playing the game has created a two-headed Goblin yet. Like Too Bad from Masters of the Universe. Or that was the first two-headed thing that came to mind. There was a two-headed announcer in the pod races in Star Wars, but I guess maybe that could be like a Goblin. But I think the game supports two-headed goblins. Just nobody's seen how to do it yet. I'm not gonna give away all my tricks. So it's actually kind of cool that we have had at this point over 20 people play test this game that I have witnessed. We've got other groups out there that I know one person in the group has taken the game and is playtesting it with their group away from me and sending back feedback, which if you're making a game, that is super important, super helpful. Don't skip that step. If you're only playing a game with your friends, then you are not actually playtesting a game. You are playing a game with your friends. Even if you say, oh, we're playtesting, we're finding the bottom of all the problems. Even if you have a friend like me who intentionally tries to break the rules because they think that's what will help you the most, the last step, probably the most important step of playtesting is once you think your game is done, send it to other people and don't tell them how to play. Just let the game live what you've sent them, and then get their feedback and see where they were confused on stuff. See what they didn't understand stuff, because that means you got to explain that better. Unless you're planning to show up at everybody's house that's going to play your game and run it for them, and I'm not planning to do that because I know some of you people.
That's not a Kickstarter level? $10,000 and you will personally come to their house?
It has been a Kickstarter level on other Kickstarters that I've done. I only ever had one person pick that for me to come run a private game for their group. And then he passed away. So I'm not saying the two things were related, but I felt really bad that I had taken money for that reward, and for reasons completely out of my control, I did not get to deliver that reward. So over the years, the 10th Kickstarter I'm doing, it has narrowed down. It's like, what ideas, because there's lots of cool ideas. There's lots of cool things you can give as rewards, but what's the core? What's the thing that people need and want? And that's the game. And they get to see us. Like, we didn't have Twitch when I started doing Kickstarters. We might have had Twitch, but it was just weirdos playing video games on it. Now you can see people playing games on your screen. You can watch other people playing it. And you know what? If I'm not pimping my Patreon today, I suspended it for the month of October. I don't think you could join it even if you went and found my Patreon page and tried to join it. I actually do run a game once a month for my Patreon backers, just like they do here on Nat 21. There's a Nat 21 Patreon. And if you join that, you can participate in the Patreon Saints game where they play Dungeons and Dragons with you once a month. So if you want to play my games with me, and you either have to sign up like Cubby did to play with us.
Just pledged.
What?
Comments.
Somebody just pledged? Oh, thank you. Pledged. Thank you, Johnny or Twitch. We'll do that. If this was my stream channel, I could throw balloons and stuff. I'll throw some jokers. That was sort of underwhelming. Do them again.
Don't throw me.
So thank you for that. So it's about the book. It's about the game. And people want it. What was the one that t-shirts was the one that everyone's like, oh, you got to do t-shirts. T-shirts for this would be so cool. And then it's marketing. And then I'm like, then I'm a freaking t-shirt company. I have made t-shirts before, and it's not an easy business. It's not like it's not really free marketing. You got to stock a bunch of sizes because you never know what size person is going to show up wanting your shirt. And mostly you end up with wasted inventory. And I make books. I make games. I don't make t-shirts. And then people wanted, at one point, you might have been in part of this conversation. I don't know. We were looking at, because the game uses squibs, right? Which are tokens of magic for goblins. And at one point, people wanted me to create squibs to go with the game. Because if you play in a Savage Worlds game, which has bennies, that's one of the things Savage Worlds does as a company. They create cool bennies for you to have, like themed of the game. And so people wanted themed squibs. And I started looking at it, like, how can I make them tokens and stuff like this? And realized I was getting further and further away from making a book. And now I'm starting into making tokens and how to make the tokens, the coolest tokens we can have, and what's going to be worth spending money on, and how much money does that add that I have to raise to pay for these tokens that only some people are going to want. And thankfully, as I'm going down this rabbit hole, one of my friends was like, I wouldn't buy tokens from you no matter how cool they are. I like just grabbing random trinkets and junk, and those are my squibs for the night. That's how I want to play. And I'm like, brilliant. That is my answer. We will even put it in the picture right there. Grab a pile of random trinkets and junk, pass them out. Those are your squibs, which is a very Goblin thing to do. Go ahead.
Use dice.
Use dice as your
because I refuse to play a diceless game. So my squibs are dice.
All right. I love it. The other thing a lot of people wanted early on was to make custom themed cards with Thomas's art. And I love that idea. I would love to have a deck of cards to play Goblonia with Thomas's art. But since everybody has their own deck of cards to play this game, your cards are like your own personal dice. I find it much cooler to find your favorite deck of cards. And it's kind of like wearing the same dress to a party. If everybody shows up to the table with the exact same deck of cards because you got them from the Kickstarter, that takes some of the specialness out of it. That and making cards, again, it's a pain in the butt. It's another printer. It's another thing to do. So we are making a book. We're making a fancy, awesome, cool book with end sheets that look something like this.
I mean, I agree. Goblonia card as a standalone idea, great idea.
Right.
Honestly, it doesn't need to be part of the Kickstarter. That can be an idea for later. It's a great idea, but why complicate?
Yeah. Right. So the Kickstarter is just about making the game, making the book. And you don't, and that's one of my things, because when we first talked about having this game with cards, and I had to answer because I've made 2 other games with cards, and everybody's like, oh, but where do I get cards? Like, I have dice laying around. If I'm a role player, I have dice. You can buy playing cards at the freaking gas station. Like almost any store you walk into for anything will have a deck of cards for you to buy. All right.
You know who always has decks of cards? The dollar store.
The dollar
For
store.
$1.
The liquor store. Planned Parenthood. I don't know about that one, actually. They might not have decks of cards.
I think not for sale.
They should. They should have decks of cards. They totally should.
I don't know that you want is any kind of a waiting room a great place for icebreaker things? Like I wouldn't want to go to any medical professional and have a deck of cards and a cribbage board just hanging out in the office.
You think you're going to wait too long?
Yeah, plus I don't want to meet people.
So I don't know what time this thing is supposed to end. We're probably getting close to the end here, but like I've said twice or three times in the stream, I had to go to the doctor's office this morning, and last time I went was before vaccines were a thing, right? And you call in from your car, and they right because you're like, I'm here.
When you say before vaccines were a thing, you I think you mean 3 specific vaccines, not like, yeah, we used to. You would be contagious to a thing, and then it's a series of inoculations. What are you trying to sell me here, doctor? Give me my mercury, and I'll be on my way.
Yes, or horse dewormer. Either one, that'll work.
That works for everything.
It works for worms in horses. But back before you could get a vaccine for COVID, in the pandemic, before you could get a vaccine for COVID, you had to call, right, the doctor's office, say you were here, and they would let you know when you were allowed to enter, all right? And you'd have to be wearing a mask, and you'd have to stand at the dot on the floor, and the receptionist behind their plexiglass screen would hold up cue cards to, is this your insurance? Is this your name? Is this your birth date? Right? So I assumed at this point you still had to, because I took my dog to the vet on Monday, Tuesday, whenever we launched the Kickstarter yesterday, and you still had to do that. You still had to call in that you were there, and they'd let you know when it was safe to come in. Doctor's office, like where sick people gravitate naturally, I called in and they're like, oh no, you don't have to do that anymore. Just come into the waiting room. And I'm like, really? As I watched them open the doors and 30 people walk into this waiting room. And I'm like, that's 30 people that are at the doctor for some medical reason. And they may be contagious. I don't have any way of knowing. Yes, we're all wearing masks. So I was very anxious going into the doctor's office this morning and sitting in a lobby. Most of those 30 people, I don't know what they did with them. They made them disappear really quick. So I don't know if they were like on their last leg and that first wave just got the shotgun and then dragged them off to the side. Like, yep, can't carry you. Boom, like a horse. But when I went in there,
kept going in the back. Nobody came out.
Nobody came out, right?
Nobody came out.
There were 9 people when I went into the lobby, and the closest person was maybe 6 feet away from me, but I still felt uncomfortable. Just being in a lobby of 9 people wearing masks, spread out. There might have been a point to this story. I don't remember it anymore. Yeah.
Well, it started. You were telling us about the first vaccines.
The first vaccines, yes, where they actually cut you open and dribbled the medicine in the wound.
Yeah, they would just squeeze a little smallpox in there.
Right. And they didn't wash their hands usually, so you were getting extra stuff with smallpox.
Oh no, this was before germ theory.
Right, this was smallpox and E. coli. Wait, it was not before germ theory if they're putting smallpox in you. They knew smallpox was a germ.
They knew smallpox was a thing, but germ theory was late 19th century.
Okay. I'm going to look that up later so I can correct you tonight if I'm...
Because Pasteur
he's the milk guy.
Forerunner of inoculations, and Listern
is the mouthwash guy.
Well, no, it was named after that because he was the first person to say, hey, what if we clean stuff real good?
I know, radical idea, right? Goes
Well,
very much against the parenting style of the 60s and 70s of, oh, let them go out and play in the dirt. They can eat those rocks. It's fine. It'll build up their immune system. You got chicken pox? Sure. Let's get all the kids together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically, that's the same principle on a certain level as vaccines. Oh, yeah, leeching I recommend wholeheartedly. The trick is, don't take the dewormers after you've been leeched, otherwise the leeches get sickly.
How long are you leaving the leeches on?
Overnight.
Are you sure those aren't? I think you're talking about ticks.
No, leeches are like baking. If fewer leeches for longer or more leeches for shorter. Just like higher temperature means shorter cook times, lower temperature means longer cook times. I like to sous vide and just do like a couple leeches, leave them on for like a week.
All right. And where do you get your leeches?
That's a good question.
There are no leeches included with the Goblonia Kickstarter.
We're not going to do a tier for that?
We're not going to put leeches in the Kickstarter. Although, Cubby, there are things that live deep down in the dark underground. I had not considered giant leeches because leeches are not a thing I tend to think about on a daily basis. But now that Sally has brought them up, there might be room in Goblonia for giant leeches. One of my friends earlier today asked me if I was putting his characters in there in a supplement, and I told him no, but I would definitely put him in a suppository for him, because that's not a thing either. That was something I did on one of my early gaming Kickstarters where I let people name a character in the game. Bad idea.
Internet people?
Random internet people that were paying me money to have their character's name in the game. And actually, I went a little bit further. You could have your character's name and enough detail about them so that I can make a character sheet, and they would become a VIP playable character in the game. And I said, I gave them a list. Like, what is your character's profession? What is the thing they're best at, right? And most people were actually like, I don't know. I didn't know there was going to be questions involved. I just want a character named this. I'm like, cool, I can do that. Character named this. Are you okay if I make them a gothic teen witch girl? This was for Purgatory House. Are you okay if I make that a child of divorce? Just hitting all the classic horror tropes. And they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And some people gave me the most, some people gave me names like, it's not, Apollo was not one of them, but some of the people gave me names like support Nat21 Adventures on Twitch. And I was like, that's not a character name, guys. I'm not naming your character an advertisement. I'm sorry. And then one guy gave a 20-page story.
As the name?
For the character, a 20-page story about their time in Iraq. And it was not a poorly written sort of thing, but I kind of felt like, were they writing this for the therapist and got their emails mixed up? Because I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this.
I gotta say, that is a character who really knows when they're in trouble with their mom.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I put the character, I took the name, I put them in the game, and they were a war vet. But I couldn't put their whole story in there. Let's see. All right, I do. Denizens of the Depths and Shadows is a section in the Book of Goblonia, and right now I have giant snails, spiders, beetles, worms, and I'm adding leeches. Right now, I'm typing it in, and leeches. Sally, it's... What?
There are giant snails down there? We could be riding giant snails?
Could be. That could be a thing. I don't even remember what's happening in the game, honestly. Probably shouldn't admit that. I've got to look up my notes. I know you all went underground, infiltrated a cultist meeting, and I threw out
we had
some
a
pages.
big twist ending, so I have no idea what to do at this point.
Right.
Oh,
good.
Which is great. It's the perfect time to abandon this adventure and go and become a snail cowboy.
I had a group, and we're going to close right after this, folks. I'm going to put the Kickstarter link back up there. Cubby's got things to do today. I have things to do today. I have to obsessively refresh
I'm very lonely.
The Kickstarter screen. Hey, I don't know when we got to this, but we were up to $5,082, 137 backers, and some of them came from this show today. So thank you for that. Backers from this show today, whether you backed today, whether you backed yesterday, whether you're Tommy that's throwing coins at the screen. I don't know. Tommy, am I cutting into your time? If I need to abandon the channel to you, tough. The goblins have taken over today. So there was a playtesting group earlier this summer. That's why I thought that was your logo. I remember seeing that logo. Let's put that logo up on the screen. Crazy. Do you say RY? Is it two separate letters, or is it Crazy Rye? Crafts and Games. It's hidden behind the... Why is it hidden behind the Twitch logo? RY, two separate letters. Crazy RY. All right. One of the... Back to this Kickstarter, people. It's right there for you. You know you want to. One of the playtesting groups... I've lost all track of time because I think it was this past summer, but I don't think that's correct because the pandemic's been going on longer than one summer. I know! Tommy is backer number 2. Mage Akila was backer number 1. She beat you by like seconds, Tommy. I don't even know how she did it. She was like stalking. Akila's awesome. She actually shows up on Nat 21 occasionally to watch our shows. But she found me on a Kickstarter I did a long time ago. Back when there's this place called Random Worlds that back in the day, like a couple years ago they would host chats with game designers on an IRC chat room channel. And it was the weirdest thing because it's like, wait a second, this feels like back in the AOL days. And I'm in a chat room typing. They have since moved to Discord because I was invited yesterday to come to a chat. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's on that IRC thing and it's a little weird. And they're like, no, we're on Discord now. It's so much better. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll give it a try. So I'm going to do a chat on there. But at some point over the playtest group, talking about riding cowboy giant slugs, one of the groups decided that they wanted to be pirates. And I was like, well, there's no ocean near Goblonia, and I really need to keep the game in the city. All right. There's not an ocean to be pirates. We'll be pirates on the river. And I'm like, guys, look at the map. There's not a river. It's not a city bisected by a river. Although now we've decided there's an underground river. And they're like, well, we'll be sewer pirates.
Oh, I was hoping that's where it was going.
Not only were they sewer pirates, all right? And one of the players was adamant about this is not what she wanted to do. She did not want to be a sewer pirate. She especially did not want to be a sewer pirate shrunken down to the size of an army man sailing the sewers on a boat made out of poop. That was their crew. That is what they decided to do.
Somehow found a way to make pirates smell worse.
Right. And they had some rats that were the swabbies running the ship for them. And we did an adventure as little people in the sewers on a ship of poop being pirates. And it was great fun. I mean, so you could do stuff like that with Goblonia. I know it's not the point of the game. I was testing mechanics, but it
Still
all
Cowboys.
worked out. Yes. So, goblins in a city, crazy hijinks, wacky schemes, goblin dreams, and caviar screams. I am Robert, the designer. This is Cubby, my good friend who plays Dr. Pibb, the mad scientist. We'll be back here
Mr. Dr.
tonight.
Pibb.
Mr. Dr. Pibb. Cubby, you got anything else to say before we leave?
Nope.
Nope. This has been Nat 21 at lunchtime on Wednesday. I'm being waved at by my children, so I've got to go see what's on fire. Thank you so much. Check out the Kickstarter. Check out Ansa's Kickstarter. It's been fun chatting with you, and we will see you tonight. Thank you, Cubby. Let me see if there's credits or something to roll here. I don't know. I don't normally do that. Just wave. I'm going to end the broadcast. Bye, everybody. Yay!